I believe you don't have the skills in selling. I got this rejection. And I believe that the greatest glory in life is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. And then they liked the program. They got amazing results. They doubled their sales in 3 months or less. They were able to get the ROI and helping salespeople become the best version of themselves from being broke. That was the moment when I became a top producer in our company for 5 consecutive years. Number one in sales.
Hey everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome. I have now Elvin on this call, and I'm so excited to learn from him. We met him a few weeks ago in Malaysia. Elvin, thank you so much for being here. I so appreciate it. How are you, and where in the world are you right now?
Hi, Bjorn. First of all, thank you for inviting me. It's an honor to be in your podcast, be interviewed by you. And currently, I'm in the Philippines. This is my hometown, Philippines, particularly in Cebu City. Cebu.
Cebu City, awesome. I met Elvin, I guess about a month ago now in Malaysia at a seminar. And I was like, man, I really want to learn from this guy. He's been very successful in so many different ways. And I just want to hear more about his story. So I just thought it would be great to get him on a podcast and I can just ask him as many questions as I can and we can just learn from him. So you said you're from Philippines, Cebu. Did you grow up in a small town or a big town, or where did you grow up?
Thank you. I grew up in Cagayan de Oro City, one of the cities in the Philippines. It's another island, actually. That's where I started my journey. Born and raised in Cagayan de Oro City. It's another place in the Philippines, another island. And I grew up in poverty. And
Hmm.
my parents couldn't support my education that time. And I had to work so hard. I find part-time job and eventually finished my study with the help of my auntie and uncle.
Wow. When you grew up in the Philippines, when you say poor, like what does that look like? Because every country is different. I grew up in Norway, so we have one version of poverty, but like how was it? Were you able to afford food or was it like really, really bad?
Well, not really bad. My family, my parents could provide 3 meals a day. Actually, we're
Mhm.
five in the family. We're five siblings, and I'm the third in the family. But in terms of education, like they couldn't support us because we're five actually.
Mm.
So even my sisters, they went to college, but then they never continued their education
Mm.
for some reasons. Then, and when I started my college education, then my parents told me that they couldn't support me. So I had to approach my we call it tita or tito, like the auntie and uncle. And good thing about it, they said yes, and they wanted me to finish my education. So that was the time when I was able to maximize the opportunity. So my parents couldn't support aside from education. My mother was a housewife, and my father that time was a taxi driver. So it's not really enough to sustain for the
Mm.
five, children.
Okay, wow. So they support you through that. Did you work your way through that as well, or how did you help pay for these things then?
Yeah, and during my education, particularly college, I worked with my uncle as well, another uncle, who had a big store where he sells different products, different food items, and it used to be my part-time job that time. And he said, "Yeah, sure, you can work every Saturday and Sunday, like every weekend." I went there and tried to help my uncle and got some pays, and I was able to save those money. And aside from that, I was also working in one of the beach resorts because my teacher that time was looking for an artist who knew how to draw, like a paint artist, beach artist. So, and it was one of my talents, I would say, drawing and painting. And my teacher said, "Oh, Elvin, I want you to meet the president of the Rotary Club in the Philippines, and I want you to meet him. And he's looking for an artist, a guy who knows how to paint. And I believe you're the right fit for that." And the owner of the resort interviewed me. He said, "Yes, try to do more projects in my resort." So that's when I started my part-time job, another part-time job of mine, every weekend as well. And I did alternating with my uncle and with this kind of job. So, and eventually I saved money actually. And from there, I was able to support kind of my own allowance every day before I go to school. So that was, for me, that's where I learned how to save money as well.
Wow, that's awesome. So you were saving, working, saving, helping your family. out is what age are you at this point now when you're learning when you're an artist as well?
Well, I
Huh.
learned how to draw and paint when I was like elementary stage, like I would say 7 years old. Yeah, I found my skill, I found my talent like at the age of 6 or 7. And when my father knew that, I love painting and drawing, then he gave me a lot of projects to do, and he showed it to different people. He was so proud of me, like, hey, my son is very good in painting and drawing, and a lot of people appreciated me, and some of them like ordered some project from me, and they wanted me to draw their image. I gave me some pictures or other projects, and it made me master my skill as well, my craft. And in high school, yes, I developed that, and as well as in college. So that's where I started my journey in terms of painting as well. And not just that, I also learned how to sell items to my classmates. In high school, I was selling some snacks actually in school. And this is another skill that I found, or another opportunity that I could improve, like selling or helping other people get what they want. Like, hey Alvin, what do you have right now? Because I'm hungry. So my classmates were telling me that one. And I said, hey, good news, I have these snacks. I just bought this from this, and I'm gonna sell this to you at this price. And then they bought those snacks from me. And eventually I saved money. So I have money during weekdays because I'm selling some snacks, and I also have money that I earned during weekend with my uncle, and at the same time painting, alternating. So that was the time where I told myself, oh, I think I could really, really support myself, and to the point that I also extend the support to my siblings. Yeah, and also to my parents, actually, giving money to my mother and some money to my father as well, and trying to help the family. Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. I did stuff too, but I didn't have the business mindset, I would say. How did that come about? Did you learn from your uncle? I mean, you saw what your dad is doing. Like you have all these ideas now to make money, and you're making money to help out your family, to pay for yourself, and you're even saving stuff. Is that something that did anybody teach you any of that? Because school in our society, at least the schools I went to, never really helped us understand any of these things. It was like meant to when you go to college or business school, that's when you're supposed to learn it. But you had it from a young age. How did that come about? Did anybody teach you or help you with that?
Yeah, I think because of the need that I had at that time.
Mm.
And when I was working with my uncle, when I was assisting with the business of my uncle, then I realized that, oh wow, this is a great way of helping people. Like I could see my uncle is very successful. He was able to send his children to school, and everybody completed their education, like my cousins, right? So they were very successful because of that business. We call it sari sari store. It's like a mini convenience store, something like that. When I was there helping my uncle as one of the staff there, I was observing them, and I told myself, oh, this is very simple. Like, okay, buying my uncle went to grocery regularly and buy some stuff, and he changed the price, put some markup there that makes the profit, and eventually selling it. One of the things that I learned is because of the location. He found a good location in one of the barangays in his place, and that was a very ideal place where in motorists or other people like passerby, because it's nearby the church. So every Sunday and every Saturday, every Wednesday, if there are schedule of mass their service, then people pass by that place and eventually drop by to my uncle's store. And I've seen my uncle, he's very dedicated, he's very committed to growing his business. And he has this mindset of really, really managing money effectively. And at the same time, he's able to discipline himself in terms of his health, because a lot of people look up to him, and he wants to help a lot of people actually. So, and we are so blessed. My father is so blessed. The siblings of my uncle are so blessed because his store was the instrument, actually, I would say, for many of his nephews, nieces who worked in his store. Not just me actually working in his store, but a lot of relatives, a lot of nephews and nieces were helping him. And also, my uncle is so blessing a lot of people. Yeah, so that's where I learned. It's all about helping customers. It's all about offering quality service to the buyers and having the right location, building relationships with people, having the right mindset and discipline as well in terms of saving money and health.
That's so good. So you learned a lot from your uncle. What a great opportunity. Let's say we have some high schoolers or people graduating high school or in high school listening. What would your message be to learn? Because I don't remember much of what I learned in school, but I started working early on as well for my dad and then for at a gas station for many, many years. And I learned just having good work ethic and just showing up and discipline, all those things are very, very important. And you don't always learn that in school, but it's something that is very, very important to have developed. So later on, it'll benefit from it. But what would you say are like the top things you'd say to a younger version of yourself or somebody that now is in high school? And a lot of kids don't work. They sit home, play video games, or, I don't know, life is just different for a lot of people now. But for most of us, our generation, like we grew up having to work. What would be something for people to have the mindset that you grew up with to be successful, and especially later on in life?
Good question. Well, my suggestion or recommendation to those who are studying right now, particularly if you are in high school stage, I would say put your focus on your education. And not just that, aside from putting your focus in education, I want you also to grow yourself more. So learn from other people's experiences, offer your service, offer your support to other people. It's not just about you earn money from that by helping other people. You will also learn big lessons that you can maximize when you grow up. And having the right attitude as well, believing in the process, and also the biggest part of me when I learned from my uncle is all about the discipline and having the right mindset. Discipline in terms of your health. And health is really a big deal for me, Bjorn. Well, the truth is, I have so many friends, even family members or relatives actually are not in good health. I need to take care of my health, just like how my uncle took care of his health. It was a very big deal for me in terms of health. So that's my suggestion. Focus on your study. And at the same time, if you have extra time, learn to serve other people. When you serve other people, that's how you open up your mind where opportunities are available actually. Whatever opportunities maybe in a form of selling, maybe in a form of marketing or offering other people's product or whatever it is for you that you have. So don't just look opportunities in your own family member or in your own family, but you can also look for extended families, for example, maybe your relatives or relatives of your tito or tita or auntie or uncle, or even your friends. Maybe you have classmates there who have businesses. Ask questions to your classmates. How did your dad start his business? What's his secret? So try to ask lots of questions and explore a lot of things. And then from there, try to implement those lessons or ideas.
Hmm. Oh, that's fantastic. Every high schooler or student needs to, I think, just be aware of that because sometimes we're so in our little own world of video games and sports or whatever it is, but like there's just so much to learn, even at that age, like what you did. I mean, you learned so much from those years. That was the reason why you're so successful as you are now. So then you moved on and then you started working. You're an adult now. You graduated. You're working. What was the next step on this journey?
Yeah, so after I completed my education, then I was working in hotel actually because I completed a course, hotel and restaurant services. The line of job is, working in a hotel or a hospitality industry actually. So I started working in a hotel as a room attendant, room boy in one of the hotels in my place. And from there, I worked for 2 years as a room attendant. And after 2 years, I got promoted and I became a front desk officer in the same hotel, actually. So I worked for 3 years as a front desk officer, total of 5 years in a hotel. And along the way, Bjorn, so many guests actually in our hotel tried to pirate me because they wanted me to work in their company. And they said, Elvin, I like your skills as a front desk officer and I want you to work in our company. That time I was so loyal in our hotel. And I said, oh, thank you for that offer, but I believe I'm going to work here for many, many years because the hotel helped me a lot and I need to give back. So I'm committed to stay here. But in my fifth year, Bjorn, There's one lady, one of our valued guests that time approached me and said, Elvin, I like your skills and I want you to work in our company. Wow. And when she said that, that was the time when I was praying that I could explore more opportunities, like I could go to another place aside from, my hometown, which is Cagayan de Oro City. So I was dreaming to be in a place where I could explore my skills. When I asked her a question, what kind of opportunity is that? And she said, Elvin, we are helping people immigrate to Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. And I said, oh, that's immigration firm. And she said, yes. And then she asked me this question, take it or leave it. Wow, that was a tough question. Like yes or no, right? And well, yours truly, actually, I'm an ambitious person, a risk taker, and an action taker. I answered her question straightforward and I said like this, I'll take it. And after a few weeks, I went to Cebu City. I came here actually in Cebu to for my interview because she said, I want you to be interviewed. I want you to meet the owner of our company. And I said, oh, you really? So, yes, you need to book your flight. And I did. And I showed up and I presented myself and I was interviewed. Make the long story short, I got hired. And after a month, I quit my job from the hotel. And the manager of the hotel, even my supervisor in the front desk department, was shocked. And he told me, come on, Elvin, you're doing good here. What happened? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with the operation? Why you are leaving right now? And not just that, of course, I answered him. I gave him the reason that I wanted to explore in other city. He also asked the woman who pirated me because they are friends actually, and he said to that woman, "Hey, why did you pirate Alvin? He's one of our assets here. He's one of the good people here, and we have a plan for him to promote him to the next level. And why? Don't take my people here. Come on." And of course, they talk about it, and I don't know what they were talking about, but long story short, the supervisor of the hotel told me after that. He said, "Okay, yeah, that's your path, that's your choice, and will allow you to grow and move forward in your life." And also the manager of the hotel were very supportive that time, and the team there, they were very supported, and that's where I started my journey here in Cebu City way back 2012. I started working as a front desk officer because that was the promise given to me to work as a front desk officer. So in the different industry, but the principles, the skills are the same. Greeting people, accommodating them, trying to offer, trying to make our clients or customers feel good, right? So customer service, it's all about customer service. So that's when I started as a room attendant and eventually became a front desk officer and in the hotel. And after that, I transferred to Cebu City and started as a front desk officer. And from there, another journey as well, where I became a salesperson.
I mean, you were obviously very, very good at what you did. They had plans for you. They were like, we want this guy. That's amazing that she came in and just challenged you almost like, hey, take it or leave it. But for people listening, learning from your story, well, no, we want to have our own business. We want to start right now. We want to do all these things. But that's not the journey you were on. You learned for a very, very long time. First as a kid, and then now you work for like multiple years. I think it was 5 years you said in total. And you learned a lot during that time. And they trained you and they helped you and you had the opportunity to do it instead of just jumping out and doing your own business, which you did later. But it took time to develop those skills, is what it sounds like. And you were disciplined, you worked hard, they obviously liked you, got promoted. Would you advise other people, like say they graduate high school or university and they're like, you know what, I don't know what to do with my life? Would you say it's good advice? Get a job, work there for a while, learn as much as you can, get the discipline in, and then you can maybe start something later on?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's also, a question raised to me by many of my students, like, how did you find your passion? How did you find your purpose? And for me, it's like it's not a race actually where you can find it immediately. Some people find their passion at the age of 50 plus, 60 plus, and it's fine actually. And for me, Is more on allowing yourself to move forward, like explore whatever you want to explore, and whatever resonates with you, then try to explore more on that. So every human being, I would say, Bjorn, every person has different background, therefore different mindset, different behavior, different style, different taste. So there's no one size fits all. So what I'm saying here is that for those people, young professionals, they're young people like students, for example, if you're watching this, I would say go out and explore. Go out and explore, allow yourself to be exposed and serve a lot of people. That's the number one principle that I learned in my life, to serve first. Serve, serve, serve. Whatever you can do, whatever industry you want to serve, just serve. Just
Wow, that is really, really good. You're all about like helping people and serving. I want to hear more about that, but it's good to learn because I think people who just are starting out, they don't really know what to do. Like you said, you need to try things to see what you like, what you're passionate about, what you enjoy. And that takes time. And the best way to do that is just to try get a job, work there, try some different things, try different departments, maybe change job a few times too, and just see what you like to do. So you got to find what is your thing. So how did that come about for you? You still work for a company. You haven't started your own company yet. You're not a trainer yet. How did you find your passion in life?
Yeah, that's a great question. When I was working as a front desk officer in that immigration firm where I told you that that person pirated me, and I said yes, so I immigrated myself from one city to another city. And after 8 months, I was able to get the opportunity to transfer to another department because there was a salesperson that time who quit from her job because she immigrated to Canada. So the sales and marketing department was vacant. So one of the meeting sessions, the manager of the company asked this question: Who wants to transfer to sales and marketing department? Now, yours truly, once again, is ambitious person, risk taker, and action taker. So I raised my hand. And she said, "Oh, Elvin, yes, you want to transfer?" And I said, "Yes, I want to transfer from front desk to sales and marketing department." And she told me that moment, "Elvin, I believe, I know you are our front desk officer, and I believe you have the skills how to entertain our clients, how to serve them very well. I'm not so sure if you have the skills. I believe you don't have the skills in selling. It's a different thing." And I simply replied like this, Bjorn: "Well, thank you for appreciating my skills as a front desk officer, but I do believe all the skills can be learned." And
Wow.
because of that answer, she said, "Okay, you are hired. Talk to me after this meeting. I'm going to ask some questions to you. And yes, in short, you are hired. You can transfer from front desk to sales and marketing department." So I was so happy that time. But I didn't know that it was my passion though, because when I was working as a front desk officer, every here's the answer to your question, Bjorn. Every client who visited our office, as a front desk officer, of course, I entertained them, right? I welcomed them and said, "Hey, mom, how can I help?" And then these people, the valued clients from Canada, Australia, New Zealand, said, "Hey, can I look for my agent?" Meaning the salesperson of our company. They were looking for that person. And I said, "Sure." And when the salesperson showed up there, met the client, and eventually I was observing how they, interact with each other. And I noticed that these clients were so happy because of the help of these salespeople. And I said, "Wow, I love that feeling of helping people get what they want. I want to be the instrument of their transformation of their lives. And I want to transfer to sales and marketing. Maybe I can find my passion there. I don't know, but I just want to level up. I just want to challenge myself." And that was the reason why I raised my hand and volunteered to be part of the sales team. And then when I was starting as a salesperson, so I was given 90 days, knowing that I didn't have the background in terms of selling immigration products or services. So 90 days training. But because of my excitement, conviction, and passion, I did not finish that 90 days period. I finished my training for just 2 weeks, 14 days. And after 14 days, I told the management of the company, ma'am, sir, no need for me to finish the 90-day training. I just want you to know that I'm ready after 2 weeks. So
Wow, low confidence right there, man.
exactly. So because of that confidence, Bjorn, I told the management of the company, trust me, I can do this. Do I have a go signal to start talking to, prospects? And they said, oh, go ahead. In fact, they told me, you know what? Most of our salespeople here completed the 90-day training. And how come you're telling us you're ready after 2 weeks? And I said, trust me, I can do this. Wow, because of my conviction. And they said, yes, go ahead. So to make the long story short, I did prospecting, presenting my products and service, handling different types of objections, closing sales, getting referrals, all the sales cycles I mastered and I really performed. And to make the long story short, in my first 5 months, here's what happened, Bjorn. I was broke in sales. I didn't have much sales actually. I was one of the least producers in our company. And I was a breadwinner in our family. And my sister at the time was studying. So I believe what there said, one of my mentors, he said, like, with no sales, no income. That was exactly what happened to me. I didn't have in any sale. I didn't have any income.
Hmm.
And I could not support the education of my kids. I could not send money to my family to support my family back home. And sometimes I could not support my own self. And I had debt actually. I had two credit cards. Credit cards were calling, banks were calling because I could not pay my debt. So that was very, very hard moment, or that was the hardest part of my career actually, being broke in sales.
Wow, so you got yourself promoted. Then you convinced them to stop the training and start selling right away, and then it didn't go so well.
Correct.
Man, what did that feel like? Like you were full of confidence, like I got this, man, piece of cake, you know? I don't need a training and got it. And now you didn't go so well. Like, how did you deal with that? What did that feel like? For other people who look at you, like, oh yeah, you're all successful now and blah, 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 but you've been there. What is it like? What goes through your mind? How do you get out of that? How do you get back on track? Because a lot of people will be like, that's it. I'm out. I need to find something else. I need to do something else. Go do something easy. Hey, how did you process that? What was going on in your mind, your heart, the pressure it's on you, your family? You said you have kids now too. It's like it's a lot for a person, an individual to carry that. How did you get out of that?
Well, when I experienced being broke in sales, I number one, I was worried and I was in the verge of quitting. And I told myself, this is not meant for me.
Hmm.
So literally, I went to the office of the owner, who is a Canadian citizen. My first sales mentor is Paul. And I said, Sir Paul, it's me, Elvin. And he said, what can I do for you, Elvin? And I said, well, I'm here in your office because I just want you to know that sales is not really meant for me. Would you allow me to go back to front desk? And when I said that, he said something and said, Elvin, this is the transformation. This is the turning point in my selling career, Bjorn. When he said this statement to me, Elvin, please don't give up. I believe in you. You could be the champion in the team. Just be a good student. Well, when he said that to me, I have a little voice in my head that says, that's not true. You're not a champion. You're broke. You don't have any sales. People are not trusting you. And how come you could be the top producer then? Come on, you need to quit. That was the voice I was hearing actually. But because of his wisdom, when he said that statement, I really paused for a while and really reflect on the message that he said. And after that, I looked at him and I hugged him and I said, thank you for believing in me. I really felt that moment. And he said, just be a good student. So I went back to my cubicle, sales and marketing department. I sat down, I closed my eyes, and I prayed to God. And I said, Lord, Show me the way. He believed in me. He believes in me. What's the next step for me right now? I could not quit. He doesn't want me to quit. Then I found the answer. He said, you learned a lot, okay? Through books, you read books, you attend seminars, things like this. And he introduced me Tom Hopkins, the Builder of Sales Champions in America. And he introduced me to Tom Hopkins, his books, his materials, training videos, audios, all these things. I learned. And aside from learning from Tom Hopkins, I went to a bookstore actually, looking for a good book in sales. And when I found a good book there, aside from finding a good book in terms of sales and marketing, I saw a standee that says Millionaire Mind Intensive Training. And I was curious about it. I talked to my wife, hey, there's a Millionaire Mind Intensive Training in Manila, and I don't know about this program. So we're going to join this program then. And she said, okay, sure. So that was a time, Bjorn, where I thought of I thought about quitting my job because I felt like sales is not really meant for me.
So tell me more. So when you were in his office, right, and you were basically gonna quit, what was, and he said, "I believe in you," right? When he said that, did it land in your heart? I know you wrestled with it. A lot of people would be like, you know what? That voice is just like, nope, can't make it. And they'll just quit and leave. But it was obviously a little bit of a wrestling match, but somehow you pulled it through. He really believed in you. And I guess that's important too. But like to have something spoken to you is really, really amazing. You don't hear that every day. But how did wrestling with that and then carrying on? I mean, that process has to be very, very difficult.
Correct. I really understand. And that was exactly the thought that I had at the beginning. I could hear my little voice telling me that, it's impossible for you to be a champion. Look at your results right now. People are not trusting you. You don't have any sales. Come on,
So,
come on.
so sorry, was this going on as you were in his office or this later on?
That was later on when I got that statement from him that he believed in me, that I could be the champion. So that was my thought there. And then I took a deep breath actually, closed my eyes for a few seconds, and trying to listen to what he was saying. And then when I opened my eyes, I saw him very sincere. And his message landed exactly. And I felt it. I felt it. And when I felt it, that's the time I told him and I hugged him at the same time and said, thank you for trusting me. And that was the decision that I've made to really, really find ways and ask him lots of questions. Tell me more about it. Like, what do you mean by I need to be a good student? Then he showed me some ways on how to be a good student.
I see, I see. Okay, now and okay, I get it. You said that it's life-changing, your experience it, but now you have to wrestle with it. But you have been given by him some material, some suggestions, and now you're like actively trying to see how you can become better at sales. And then now you're going down to like personal development, studying more about how to be more successful, right? So that makes sense. You're praying about it. God is like walking you through these things because it's just that process is tough, very, very tough. But he didn't just say it. He gave you some material and he led you down a direction where like, okay, go like do this.
Correct. And it was exactly my prayer. Show me the way, Lord. Like, what's the opportunity here? And that was the time when Paul gave me a lot of resources where I could learn from. And that was a great reminder for me. Why? Because I learned that sometimes it takes other people to believe in us first before we could believe in ourselves, right?
Well, that's good. Yeah, yeah.
So that's why in my career right now as a sales trainer, I always say that to my students as well. I'm going to pass the message from my mentor to yours. Just like what he told me when I was about to quit my career as a salesperson. I'm going to pass this message to you. I believe in you that you can be the champion in your selling career. Just be a good student.
Hmm.
And how to be a good student? Learn as much as you can.
Hmm. Oh, that's good. Very, very good. Hmm. So you then, what courses did you take? Like before you, because you haven't developed your own thing yet. So What courses did you take? How did you find it? You said you found the book. What else did you do to basically learn this skill of selling and helping now other people learn how to sell?
Yeah, aside from learning or reading different books in terms of sales and marketing, well, the first book that I learned about sales was Tom Hopkins' book, Mastering the Art of Selling. And it was a great book of Tom. And then from there, I attended Millionaire Mind Intensive Training because that was the program I saw in a bookstore, right? And with my wife, we attended. And then from there, they offered Quantum Leap program, a program of T. Harv Eker. So Millionaire Mind Intensive Training really transformed my life in terms of my financial blueprint. So I started saving that time because I realized, Bjorn, that it's not about the money that we earn. It's all about the capacity to save money, right? Yeah. So it helped me a lot in terms of my financial aspect, my financial blueprint, how, my relationship towards money. It helps me a lot how to manage money. And so many areas of my life as well changed. So, and then they offered about Quantum Leap program. So I took the program. I completed those programs, including the upgraded programs of T. Harv Eker, and I served the local organizer here, Lauros Enterprises, at the same time the Success Resources, which helped me a lot in my career as a person, professional and personal life. So I kept on serving. So I still use Bjorn, the one that I did to my uncle, and to my to the other person, like the owner of the beach resort, like serving first. So I was serving a lot. So I learned all these programs from different programs of Success Resources and the local organizer in our country. So when I learned from those programs, so my next decision was to serve, to give back, giving back. And aside from giving back, of course, I applied the lessons. So I learned and I implemented it in my journey. And when I implemented it, Bjorn, within 1 year in my selling career, from being broke, that was the moment when I became a top producer in our company. And it's not just, a one time, but I became the top producer for 5 consecutive years. Number one in sales.
That's really incredible. Wow. So you took all these courses, you started studying, and within a year, you're the top salesman. A lot of these courses are run by Success Resources, and you attended them, and here you're serving, you're helping. That's like part of your story. How did you then go into your own content? Because you're still working for a company, but you're doing great. How did you then make the jump to start your own business, which is a whole other ball game from working for somebody else? Now you have, building a team and all the kind of things. Like what was that like? Like how did you even find what you wanted to talk about or share with people, help people sell? Because even that, like somebody listening, they're like, you know what? Yeah, I have all this. I've been working, but like, how do I put together content? How do I create my own stuff? How do I know what to teach other people? Like, how did all that come about?
Yeah, thanks, Bjorn. Um, I believe, Bjorn, because of the programs I've taken, and I found my mission there on, to becoming a sales trainer. And there was a program actually when I attended in Singapore way back 2017, December of that year, and it was a confirmation that I'm gonna quit my job as a sales person in an immigration consulting firm. And so many factors actually. So that was one of the programs that really resonated with me and confirmed that this is the next level that I'm gonna take. This is the next game that I'm gonna take. I was doing well for 5 years then, and money was not an issue anymore. So I could support my family, my siblings, and people who need my help. I could support financially, and it's not a big deal that time. And then I realized something, Bjorn, that oh, I think I already plateau in what I did, in what I was doing that time, and it was not a challenge anymore for me. Actually, I felt like it was like same cycle over and over again. Like, oh, it's what I realized during that time is like I need to be challenged again. What's my next step here? And since I reached that level where I'm already financially blessed, so I told myself, hmm, now I learned lessons as well to help more salespeople in the country. Particularly one of the experiences that I experienced with my client. A client where, a client approached me and said, Elvin, I need your help because I visited some of the immigration firms where, they promised me of this program that I could avail, and eventually it did not materialize. And I said, oh, really sad to know that. And she said, I need your help because I'm trusting you. I want you to help my family to go to our dream home country, Canada. And he was, sharing all her experiences, all those, bad memories with some agents there. And it resonated with me, and it reminded me of my mission of helping a lot of people. And she said, actually, like, I really believe in you and I really trust you, and I'm gonna trust the program and the service of your company here. Please help me and my family. And that was the moment when I told myself, Lord, thank you for showing me the way. This is exactly what I want to do, helping a lot of people get what they want and helping salespeople become the best version of themselves. Because I don't want clients to be, like, given promise, but it's not really true. It's not really materializing. So it was a lesson for me, like, so many agents try to give false promises, but okay, it was my mission. It's my mission to really help these people as well. So that was one of the strong reasons, I would say, the reason why I quit my job and to step up my game as a sales trainer in the country, because I wanna go out and help salespeople sell professionally in a better way. So,
Wow.
so that was the moment. Then I found my why, Bjorn, and I quit my job after that program that I attended in Singapore.
So that interaction with her made it very clear and obvious, this is what I'm going to do. I'll help people be the best version of themselves. And how in the world do you develop the content? Putting in some structure to it or the flow, like, does that come natural for you? How did you put that together? Because a lot of people just find it very difficult.
Yeah, that's a great question. I really agree with what you said. Like, it's really tough when I started. Why? Of course, as a new sales trainer, I created when I was selling, when I was in immigration firm, I recorded most of my transactions with clients, and that's where I started. I transcribed all the presentations I had with clients, and I learned from my mistakes. Then I pick up some good things there that worked for my clients, and then from there, I assess it. What programs could I make for this? So I match it, and I found, like, oh, I'm gonna help clients how to generate leads, how to present their product and service, how to handle different types of objections, how to close sales, and how to get referrals. And the sales cycle, actually, I've mastered based on my experience. And then I went to different companies then with confidence and excitement. Hey, ma'am, sir, I want to offer my sales training for free. I'm willing to waive my professional fee just to give you a free sales training. Would you allow me to do that? I'm willing to give half day training. And they said, Elvin, do you have portfolio? Show me send me your portfolio first. And I said, actually, I just started. Oh, really? You just started? Okay, come back if you have portfolio already. And then I went to different companies, insurance companies, real estate, logistic companies, network marketing, car sales, different sales companies, industries, actually, in my place and also the place of my wine and my hometown, Cagayan. I went there to really submit the proposals. In short, I got this rejection. So they rejected me. And that was a tough moment of mine. And my little girl was talking to me again that moment, like, Alvin, are you doing the right thing? But I was certain, actually. No turning back. When I make decision, no turning back, Alvin. It's gonna be one way. No left turn, no right turn, but it's all about going straight forward. That
Mm.
was that was my principle, actually, Bjorn. So I told myself, this is part of my journey. This is part of my growth. People rejecting me, that's fine. But I know there's better result here. So what I did then, I offered public training for free. In other words, I put some ads on social media, campaigning, calling salespeople if they want to improve their presentation skills, presenting and handling objections, all those things, closing sales for free. So people registered, they showed up in my sales training, and I offered half day training. And then from there, I created of course, I prepared my back end program for them. So I sold my program and 40% conversion, people signed up for my program. And then from there, I took care of these clients who trusted me. And then they liked the program. They got amazing results. They doubled their sales in 3 months or less. They were able to get the ROIs there, return of investment. They were able to, grow their team at the same time. They were able to help a lot of clients. They were able to double their sales in some of them like immediate because there's implementation of the lessons during training. They were so happy and they kept on recommending me to their peers and colleagues. And that's where I grow my public training to the private training. So I did that, Bjorn, when I started my sales training
Oh,
company.
that is remarkable. Okay, so your content, you actually recorded a bunch of stuff. You were smart. So those of us who have not done that, one thing to get content is journal maybe, record, get as much content developed from what you're learning, experience. So that becomes your content. So for you, you were able to put things together, how to handle objection, all these different things, and that became your content. Then you tried to get clients and nobody wanted you, but then you're smart and you say, you know what? I'm going to give it for free. And people came and then they went and just went from there and then be able to sell your courses then on the back end. And now all these people are getting help all over the place. Tell me more about your program. Where do they sign up? Is it online? Is it in person? What are some of the specifics? You're all everything you shared is about helping people. It's about serving people. I really get that, and I think that is very, very important because most people don't like salespeople. They feel they're pushy. They feel they're always trying to sell them more than what they need, or they're just that helping thing. We don't associate that with salespeople at all. Can you tell a little bit about that? What is something they're going to learn? And then how can they get trained by you, whether they're overseas or whether they're in Philippines?
When I started my training journey, I started like face to face because I didn't know about Zoom that time. There's no Zoom that time, I believe. Maybe there was a Zoom that time, but all I knew is all about doing my training face to face with clients, face to face, face to face. And then, yeah, I went to different cities in the Philippines. I kept on traveling just to serve salespeople. And it was very fulfilling on my end because I knew salespeople are getting better. And I could go back to the story of the client where she was, given false promises. And now I believe salespeople are not really giving promises because of the training I do to salespeople. So I was very confident. It gives me more energy, more excitement to help a lot of people. So I did face to face in the beginning, and when pandemic hit, I started to learn, how to train salespeople online. That's where I started. I I was able to accommodate different salespeople, actually different Filipinos from overseas, actually working abroad, and they saw my page because some of my loyal clients recommended my programs and myself to them. Hey, I have colleagues, Coach Elvin, that wanted to, who want to learn this kind of program that I've taken from your program. Um, and they are OFWs, overseas Filipino workers. Can they join? And I said yes. So eventually, I've been serving salespeople as well from different countries in the world, like particularly Filipinos, and some of them are not Filipinos as well, joining just to observe how I do things, and eventually they learned as well. So, and up to present, I keep on doing this online program. So particularly salespeople from different industries, and my focused niche actually or audience is really the real estate professionals, insurance professionals, network marketing, and as well as car salespeople. And in short, the program that I have can help different types of salespeople. As long as they offer products and services, they could learn that from me and from my team as well. So, because it's not about the product that we teach here, It's all about how they teach their own product and service. Because anybody can sell a product, but not everybody can sell the way it should be sold or offered to people.
Mm.
Anybody can use a closing technique, but not everybody can use it the way it should be used when client objects, right? So that's my focus. And yeah, right now I'm very comfortable helping so many salespeople in different cities, different locations, wherever they are, their comfort zone through this kind of platform. I'm so grateful for Zoom because I can serve so many salespeople, and up to this date, I've been helping more than 40,000 sales and business professionals already.
40 over 40,000 people, salespeople learn to sell. That's incredible. And now their focus is on helping. And I'm sure you got some incredible stories. With you, it was 1 year. I'm sure with them, it's a lot faster to be able to have that different perspective on helping and serving their clients versus whatever they were doing, you know? So that's amazing. It's really cool. Where can they find you if somebody's listening, they want to attend? Where do they, how do they get a hold of you? I'm sure you got social media. Do you have a website as well that people can find?
Yeah, they can find me in Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. You can search Elven Real Camus, my full name.
Mhm.
And sometimes it's Elven Camus in my Instagram, but just look for it. Okay, Elven Camus or Elven Real Camus. And also in
Mm.
YouTube, the name of my company and also my name, Elven Camus. You can find that one. And we're most active in Facebook actually, and sometimes LinkedIn. Yeah, LinkedIn as well. So if you want to follow me, feel free to go to my sites and connect with me. So send me a message or whatever it is. Let me know how I can serve and support you then.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Thank you, Elvin. This has been very good. I enjoyed listening to you, and you have so much like wealth of information, knowledge, wisdom from just life experiences. Ever since you're a little kid, you know, you've been hustling and getting out there, and now you've just been very, very successful, helping so many people. And so, if anyone listening, you want to check it out, I'm going to put the description or in the links to all his social media and your website so you guys can find Elvin. And yeah, I just really, really appreciate it because I've met so many people. You instantly noticed when they're trying to sell you something, you kind of step back and be like, whoa, what's going on? And it's not easy because I think the training that they get in their companies, either it's just minimal training or it's just they have a specific way of doing it that's been around forever, maybe. But what you're talking about is very, very different. And it's such a need for salespeople to have that. I'm very, very excited for what you do, and this is really, really good. You found your calling, what you love to do, your passion, and people's lives have been changed all over the place. So it's very, very exciting. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And again, anyone want to join or learn from you can find on social media. Anything else you want to share? Anything specifically that you're like, you know what? I just one more thing I wanted to say.
First of all, I want to say thank you, Bjorn, for giving me the opportunity to be in your space, to be in your podcast. And I hope this message can go to as many as professionals as possible, and particularly sales and business. And I believe that the greatest glory in life is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. So somebody said that. And I believe in this principle with what Zig Ziglar said as well, and this is the principle I live up to present. And that principle, he said there, you can have everything in life you want if you will just help enough other people get what they want. So keep helping people get what they want, and you will also get what you want.
Wow, that is so good. Thank you. Just last thing I'll finish on this. Community, I think, is so important as well. People need community to learn these things. The community you've built and just your life is really, really amazing. If anyone is interested, if you're in sales, you got to connect with Elvin because you need a community. One thing is read books. You can go attend events and all that stuff is great, but you need a community over time to be able to encourage you. Because what he said, if you fall down or if you have issues, you need somebody to be there to help you back up again. And Elvin and his team can be there. So, guys, if you're in Philippines, please check it out. Just I think you'll learn a lot. So, Elvin, you're awesome. Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. You for joining. You have a great rest of the day, and we'll stay in touch. Okay?
Thank you, Bjorn. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye bye.